Complex, sheared intra-articular distal radius fractures requiring dorsal buttress support, corrective osteotomy, or revision fixation. Severe fragmentation, dorsal rim involvement, and unstable multi-fragment fractures caused by high-energy accidents or falls from heights. Falls onto an outstretched hand occurring in elderly, osteoporotic patients with fragile bone architecture. Unstable extra-articular fractures, severe metaphyseal comminution, and dorsal displacement resulting from low or high-energy trauma. 2.4 mm AV-Wiselock Dorsal Frame Distal Radius M Plate. Anatomically contoured dorsal profile designed to fit the dorsal surface of the distal radius. Frame style construct providing multidirectional support for complex fracture patterns. AV-Wiselock variable angle technology allowing screw angulation up to plus or minus 15 degrees. Multiple distal fixation points for enhanced capture of small periarticular fragments. Open frame design minimizing implant bulk while maintaining construct stability. Available in high-grade stainless steel and titanium options. Color-coded left and right configurations for easy intraoperative identification. Expose the distal radius via an appropriate dorsal surgical approach, protecting the extensor tendons and surrounding neurovascular structures. Reduce the fracture using a method appropriate for the fracture type and temporarily stabilize with K-wires. Confirm fracture reduction under fluoroscopy. Provisionally position the dorsal frame distal radius M plate on the dorsal surface of the distal radius. Retrieve the plate and contour it as required using bending forceps to match the dorsal anatomy of the distal radius. Confirm the plate position under fluoroscopy. Place the 1.8/2.4 mm self-centering double drill guide on the required oblong hole as per the fracture pattern. Push the drill guide to attain center. Drill through the drill guide using a 1.8 mm drill bit. Measure the required screw length using the depth gauge measuring up to 60 mm. Assemble the 2.4 mm cortical screw holding sleeve with the star head screwdriver. Attach the appropriate length 2.4 mm cortical screw to the cortical screwdriver assembly. Insert the first 2.4 mm cortical screw into the oblong hole. Position the cone-shaped end of the 1.8 mm universal AV-Wiselock drill guide into the proximal variable angle locking hole of the plate as per the fracture pattern. Drill at the desired trajectory using the 1.8 mm drill bit to create a bicortical hole. Measure the required screw length using the depth gauge measuring up to 50 mm. Assemble the screw holding sleeve for the 2.4 mm Wiselock screw with the star head screwdriver. Attach the appropriate 2.4 mm variable angle locking screw to the variable angle screwdriver assembly. Insert the 2.4 mm variable angle locking screw in the pre-drilled hole. Release the screw by pulling the screw holding sleeve. Screw until the screw head engages the threaded plate hole. Repeat this procedure for the remaining proximal variable angle locking holes as required to provisionally secure the fracture fragments. Translate the plate through the oblong slot as needed to achieve axial fracture compression. Position the 1.8/2.4 mm self-centering double drill guide in the second oblong hole of the plate. Drill through the drill guide using the 1.8 mm drill bit. Measure the required screw length using the depth gauge. Insert the appropriate 2.4 mm cortical screw. Fully tighten the second cortical screw to achieve fracture compression. Confirm fracture reduction, plate position, and screw lengths under fluoroscopy. Fully tighten the first cortical screw. Assemble the handle with the 0.8 Nm torque limiting attachment and T8 star screwdriver shaft. Perform final tightening of all previously inserted 2.4 mm variable angle locking screws using the torque screwdriver assembly. Position the 1.8/2.4 mm threaded drill sleeve in the first shaft locking hole of the plate. Drill through the guide using the 1.8 mm drill bit to create a bicortical hole. Measure the required screw length from the marking on the drill bit. Insert the 2.4 mm variable angle locking screw using variable angle screwdriver assembly. Tighten the screw using the torque screwdriver assembly. Repeat this procedure for the remaining shaft locking holes. Position the 1.8 mm universal AV-Wiselock drill guide in the stem holes of the plate. Drill at the desired trajectory using the 1.8 mm drill bit to create a bicortical hole. Measure the required screw length using the depth gauge. Insert the 2.4 mm variable angle locking screw using variable angle screwdriver assembly. Tighten the screw using the torque screwdriver assembly. Repeat this procedure for the remaining stem holes. Remove the K-wires. Irrigate the wound thoroughly and close according to standard surgical practice. Distal radius fracture fixation using Oxion's dorsal frame distal radius M plate is completed. Immobilize the wrist in a splint or brace for initial soft tissue healing. Initiate gentle finger and wrist range of motion exercises as tolerated in the early phase. Gradual progression to active wrist mobilization after 2 to 3 weeks. Begin strengthening exercises once fracture stability is confirmed.